What's up, everybody? Welcome to the ReCoop. I'm your host, Cooper Daniels, and today it's Thursday. How's everybody doing? Everybody feeling good? It's Thursday, January 4th, in the Lord's year 2024. This is my new thing. This is my 2024 thing to do. Let's call it my Lord's year. Lord's year. So today we got an exciting show. We got Benedetto and Ibu from Folks Finance, from AlgoFi. And I mean, Folks Finance, I fucked up that joke. I said the right thing first. I should have said AlgoFi first. Damn it. God damn it. Man. Today we've got Owen and, what the hell's his name? John Clark from AlgoFi. Guys, I'm excited about the show. They have a really fun community coin incentive that we're going to ask them all the questions. I know my guys are in the chat, all the predominantly women in my chat, if I'm going to be honest. They're going to have all the great questions for them, and I'll bring them in a few minutes. But first, let's just check who's here. Anybody here? Let's do roll call. Who's here? Animal Style, good evening. Thanks for joining from wherever you are. Good morning, Andy. Nice to see you. Evening to you, Mort. Look at that. Good afternoon. All right. We got Cap Hits here. The Scream, feeling good now. You got that Scream. Bad Taxi, it's good to see you back in the room. I haven't seen you in a bit, but I've seen you this year. It's good to see you. DeFi Web Wallet soon. I'm excited about that. There was an actual, there was. Margaret, nice to see you. What's up, Margaret? Nice to see you. We got the sheriff in town, 409. And okay, Austria. Sweet. All right. So should I look at anything? Do I even know, before I bring them on, should we even see what's going on? I mean, are we tired of hearing about how Stephen Hawking liked to watch naked midgets do complex math problems on chalkboards that are too high? Are you guys tired of that news? Do we not need to talk about that? I don't think so. Real quick, before we bring them in, let's just look at prices real quick because I haven't looked at them at all. I'll share the screen. We'll go to CNBC. How's the stock market doing? I'll bring you guys in. Don't worry. I think they're both here at this point watching me getting a strange background thing. Okay, let me look at this real quick. Let's look at this. CNBC. All right. NASDAQ. Okay, everything okay. So the Dow's bouncing back. Are you guys seeing this, by the way? The Dow's bouncing back and the NASDAQ is sideways. Okay, so the markets are like, okay, we were just kidding. We feel okay again. That's cool. Any big time news here? CoinDesk. So Bitcoin's back over 44,000. It was like, psych. We'll see what's going to go on. Goldman Sachs eyeing ETF roll via BlackRock. Oh, yeah, there you go. All the small boys are getting involved. BlackRock, Goldman Sachs. Okay, this is good. And then the prices, and then maybe we'll look at Vestige with Ben and Ibu, so we don't even have to worry about it. Oh, this is the block. This isn't anything that we need to look at. All right, that wasn't what I meant to look at. I meant to look at CoinMarketCap. I'm running a little late. That's why I'm kind of rushing through this. If I had started at 9:30, it would have felt a little less pressure about kind of doing my normal show a bit. Stupid Solana is pumping. Just kidding, guys. I don't think it's bad. All right, it's over 102, so it's over 100 again. XRP is still sub 60. Cardano's under 60 as well. Polkadot's is bouncing back up to 8. Where's Algo? Algo. Okay, back in the top 50. Down 11% over the last 7 days, but, bouncing back, I guess, a little bit. Still under 21 cents. All right, let's go back. Let's bring in the guys. How are you guys doing? Let's get them in here. Did they leave? Let's see. How do we want this to look? There we go. This is perfect.
Hey, boss.
How are you doing? Hold on.
Good. It was super fun to wait here to listen.
Hold on. I'm doing a terrible job. What is happening right now? This. Okay. Oh, yeah. My wonderful skills. This isn't what we want either. Oh, this is getting closer. There we go. Now let's do this. Okay. I think this is the way. What's up, guys?
I'm on Fox News.
Yeah, you are. How's it going?
The talking head.
You look like you're in a cold environment.
Ibu's salary is not that high to have a very warm home.
Yeah,
But looks like you still is that a
firewood only. What?
Is that a Christmas? Do you still have your wreath up back there, or is that just a regular old?
Yeah, man. It's only Jan 4th. Okay, we've been busy over here, working all the time.
Right.
No time to take the Christmas decorations down.
I get you. It's actually cold here. It's windy. It's windy in LA. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How
So
was
what's
your,
going on? You guys are just over there, just constantly killing it. So I mean, tell us a little bit about what I think this was actually your idea, wasn't it, Ibu? This community coin initiative.
All the things that are related to community is always Ibu's idea. The consensus, the incentives, all Ibu, we have to say.
Wow. So this wasn't such a bad hire after all, was it?
It had to get the wheels rolling.
You know what? It's because he stays in a cold environment. That's why he gets to think, to warm up the brain.
Yeah.
I just,
meanwhile,
like,
you're on the beach with all the, everybody, the cocktails, all the excitement. I didn't want to say what I wanted to say. Could you tell? Okay. So why don't we just dive in? I do want to hear a little bit about, I obviously want to hear about this initiative, but I also want to talk a little bit about things because we haven't caught up in a while. So Benedetto, I'd be interested to learn more about what the chain link integration actually means and some of these tokens that you guys are bridging over and, some of the other things that Folks Finance are doing as well. But I think most people here are interested to learn about the details of this community coin initiative and, what angle they can take to FUD it.
Yeah, so I think you can start with the coin contest. So later on, I can give general updates.
Okay. So it was a couple days ago, maybe a week ago, and I was like, we don't have enough going on for G10. So then it kind of just clicked for some reason because noticing all the ASA hype going on, like, it's been picking back up, kind of reminding me of January 2022 and like late 2021 when Tiny Man just came out. Like, it was really hyped to trade ASAs. I thought that was personally one of the most fun and uplifting times like in this of Algorand ever. So I've been eagerly like looking forward to when that kind of wave would come back. And I feel it coming back now. Now we have these targeted DeFi rewards, which, thankfully we get a good chunk of, and we're like obligated to give them away essentially. So all the campaigns that we've been running, honestly, just like printers for anyone who actually gets involved. I mean, you get a really high return on most of them. So I think it's personally a no-brainer to join in. But then I think this is probably my favorite one that we've ever done in terms of a concept, because the original idea was, let's take 50K algo of rewards and split it into 5 chunks of 10K, let projects do a whole form application, and then we pick. But then a couple of days later, I was like, wait, why don't we just simplify it and make it way better by just doing a competition, see which communities can get the biggest pool, and then we'll just give those communities the rewards. I mean, targeted DeFi rewards are meant to grow TVL primarily, so it's a great use of them, And also, like, one thing I really want to point out is that it does an extra bit of TVL growth because the GAlgo commit happens and then the GAlgo gets put into a pool. So it's almost a double dipping effect compared to if you just did algo, the algo doesn't count toward TVL on folks, it just counts on the DEX. So, I think it's just time for us to just ape in, new year, new us. And I felt happy that we were able to come up with some way for communities to get some type of incentives who have often been on social media, voicing their concerns and complaints, like, why can't my small time community coin or community get anything official, right? Like, ideally we can start a little, it's just the first step, but it's something on that path of legitimizing a lot of like the smaller communities that we see like popping up here and there.
And this was the philosophical version. Now I tell you the real one, right? So
Okay.
Ibu wanted so much Coupe to be listed on Folks, so advice. Okay, that was the truth.
Okay. So he's like, how can we get Coupe to grow so we can actually put it on folks' finances collateral for borrow and lend? Well, good. I'm glad.
No funny shit. Like to add it. It's another way for community coins to get connected with folks and with the dexes in a more official way too. So it's just a way for them to start building up credibility. People have been asking for Coupe listing and other coins too, mostly Coupe though. So Coupe obviously, in my opinion, is the leading community coin simply because it's been around for a longer amount of time, is more legitimized. I can't promise anything, but it's a good way for things to start rolling. And if the crypto market starts rising again and ASAs, get more hype, I think like the winners of these rounds could be identified as potential leaders in the ASA scene. And I think it's somewhat important to have a group of blue chips, which newcomers can come into the ecosystem and be like, oh, that's one of the main ones. And maybe they'll be interested in joining that community. And, it gives a more focused funnel for people to move through so they can actually become assimilated into the scene.
Well, I would say, and look, the last 24 hours have been busy for me, so it's not like I have dove in totally into this, but just my initial thoughts, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is, well, first, this will be great for gALGO in the sense that it's going to create, because I know that D13 and others at the CRV vault, they're constantly adding Coupe to other tokens, and it actually helps if you look at the aggregators, Coupe, Go BTC. A lot of times these trades are going through Coupe pools to make the trade a more efficient trade. So if gALGO has all of these pairings, it should be nice for the trading of gALGO after the governance commitment, which usually you're having to take a hit on. So do you think that that's also something that'll happen?
Yeah, I think so. And it's a good way for people to get boost their potential returns from governance solutions without going and defaulting to leverage commit, because that's something that we saw in G9. I'm seeing a lot of people on social media talk about it where they're like, why am I getting back less than I put in? Well, the rewards haven't gone out. That's the first thing to remember. So people are redeeming without getting the rewards, which should come tomorrow. So, they're like, why? But at the same time,
so that's the interest, right? So people are paying, because the interest is obviously very high in the beginning. Yeah. Right.
And it kind of persisted through the quarter. So I think doing the community coin contest, and once those pools get established with some nice, rewards attached to them, I think it's important to just give people more unique and appealing options for how to use the governance solutions instead of everyone just throwing it all on leverage, because leverage commit is awesome, but we've seen if it gets overused, it just has the same market dynamics as any other lending coin on folks. So we wanted to push people to different things too. And it creates more activity in the ecosystem, like with these gALGO and community coin pools.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then I guess like you were, I think, sort of alluding to, is that if there's a big reward for the LPs that are the largest, then that's going to incentivize, that could be a nice loop of people wanting to get into Coupe, because now more and more people are Coupe or Barb and or whatever it is. And there's a lot of peps. Now I feel like an obligation to not leave anybody out. I don't know. Do you guys know anything about P Gold, by the way? I'm seeing people, in the chat right now, they're talking about it. Do you guys know anything about that?
I don't personally.
I do. I had a guy from their, I guess he's like one of their core community, but it's it's opaque. It's not really clear like who created it, what it's somewhat clear, somewhat not. They've been DMing me and the folks finance account trying to work together. I mean, it's very, because there's just no clarity. It's a hard no. You know, there's just like no idea. And if we're not gonna, it's just, there's no way we're gonna list it, at least at this moment. But it just seems to be Polkadot whales enjoying Algorand, somehow organized a bunch of money together and said, let's go make a coin that advertises Polkadot on Algorand. But beyond that, I really don't know. You know, it just.
Oh yeah, that's my question for them, and I forgot it. I was trying to remember what my question was, and my question is does P Gold exist in the Polkadot ecosystem, or does it only exist on Algorand? But this isn't for you guys. I can talk
just on Algorand though.
Okay.
Anyway, I see a lot of people are asking the questions about the competition, Ibu. So maybe you can go through how it works, like step by step, like the timeline, dates to remember, ways to participate. So it's probably clearer.
Yeah, sure. So I'll just quickly like go over it. The summary is, it's simple. Like it's simpler than people think it is. All you got to do is take your favorite coin and pool it with GALGO and try to get as many of your friends or community members to do the same, right? Just try to run it up, try to get the most TVL. And there'll be 2 rounds during the quarter. So I think the first one is January 16th. That's the day that we're going to take a snapshot. The top 3 GALGO pools on each DEX will get rewards. And it's one coin can win on multiple DEXs. So if Coupe, for example, has the biggest pool on all 3 DEXs, it's going to get the most rewards on all 3 DEXs. Like we just want to reward whichever community can throw together the most liquidity. And then 4 weeks of rewards, then another about 10, 13-day period of creating new pools or keeping the liquidity in the pools, possibly shuffling around depending on what people do with their coins and LP. And then we're just going to do it again, 4 more weeks of rewards. I'm curious to see which coins end up taking the winning spots. And I know there was probably some confusion in the article about this like $5,000 rule. It really doesn't have any relevance. It was just in case some coin created a big GALGO pool before we announced it. It would have been disqualified, but that didn't happen. So now, no. I see someone in the comments saying not passing 5K. No, you want to pass 5K. You want to get it as high as possible. I'm even considering deleting that rule from the article because it's just confusing people. But it's just make as big a pool as possible. That's it.
Yeah, and it's worth to mention also that we decided to propose this to the DEXs as well, and everybody was happy to participate. So the idea is that the different communities can compete strategically. Also, you can win more prizes in different DEX. So a token might arrive first in one DEX and second in another one. So it's nice to see how they are going to organize each other to split. You know, like it's gonna be cool to see who is gonna win that.
Right. Like it'll be once the rewards get sent out tomorrow, minting begins. I think we're going to start to see more activity, like start to join this contest. I'm going to be doing like daily updates on my Twitter as well, like the rankings, just to see who's like winning every day. And it'll be cool, like Ben said, how communities strategize, because maybe one coin has an impassable amount on Tiny Man, but then there's not as much competition on Pact. So let's move over to Pact and see if we can get the #1 spot there. It's just going to, hopefully create some nice flow of capital throughout the ecosystem. I'm excited for it.
And then obviously, probably encourage people to use GALGO as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We wanted more pools with GALGO beyond the main like Algo, USDC, Go Bitcoin, Go ETH.
Yeah.
And it's a new era in Algorand trading, in my opinion. Like some of the coins from old have come through, like Akita survived all that time. Vest.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't say Akita. I apologize, Akita. Anyways, go ahead.
Right, because it's been around so long, you almost like forget that it's still relevant, still there. But yeah, so there's a lot of new coins. Some of the old ones have survived. Curious to see like what people can put together. It's gonna be fun.
I mean, I got to say, and this is something that I've said about you guys for a while, is that it's a lot of people say it's impossible to make a sustainable business in DeFi. And it really seems like you guys go out there, you're creative, you're innovative about what you do. And it seems like you're doing all right. So that's cheers to you guys building something on Algorand that seems sustainable. I think that's a nice way to put it, right? Like a sustainable business on Algorand that's not just solely reliant on free money. You know, that's cool. Good job, guys. All right. So when is the first winner? Sorry, when is the first winner? Like, when do people need to have their TVL as high as they can on these dexes for that first round, so they start getting rewards?
First round is going to be January. The snapshot's on January 16th.
Okay.
So stroke of midnight, January 16th in Central European time. Mm-hmm. That's when we're going to take a snapshot. So from today, people have about 11, 12 days to run it up. And because the minting and the rewards start tomorrow, that's when I think we're going to start to see more activity.
And then rewards will be the gAlgo rewards will be added to those pools that win, and which theoretically helps the leaders to continue their climb for round 2.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
The rewards will be added the next day.
Yeah. And this obviously is just a small piece of your rewards for DeFi, right? You're still going to be incentivizing consensus. There's still an incentive to participate in gAlgo and the governance rewards and stuff like that. So if people aren't interested in participating in the community kind of fun, they still are going to be boosted to participate in your liquid governance and consensus.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we just put out an article today about how we plan to spend the G10 targeted D5 rewards. So everyone who's watching, feel free to check that out. It's on the Folks Finance Twitter and Medium. Just got a simple chart which will show how that's being distributed over the next couple months.
Right. Mr. Joker says bank is a meme coin that should participate. All right, so let's see. Yeah, let's see. Algo Learner says double dip, haha. But some communities don't like gAlgo. Don't know why. So do you guys know why? Why do people not like gAlgo?
I don't understand why that could be a reason for not liking it. Maybe someone forget to burn.
Oh yeah, if you forget to burn. I think some people actually think that it has the same actually what mALGO is. I think that they think that they're earning interest on the token, like it's an interest-bearing token like mALGO, when it isn't. You're earning rewards. You guys are, blah, blah, blah.
That is pretty clear. I mean, it happens that a lot of users don't read what they click. So honestly, we can't do much about that. But we do have XAlgo as well. So if you wanted to do the interest-bearing version, you have an opportunity also in Folks. So I don't know why you shouldn't at that point. And if you don't really like it to be on another chain, you can always bridge it back on Algorand, and it's still an active asset.
Right. Now, okay, so XAlgo is on Binance chain. It's on Avalanche, and it's are those the two places it's at currently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and
how is this?
On this round on Avalanche, we partnered with Trader Joe, and the incentives are distributed on Trader Joe LPs with XAlgo, AVAX, and as well we partnered with Benki. And the idea around that was that you, being also Avalanche having a liquid staking version, why wouldn't you like to take the best profit, so pairing to interest-bearing tokens? So there is another pool which is incentivized both from us and the Benki team, which you can pair as AVAX and XAlgo.
So are you, I mean, I guess this is brand new on AVAX, so I guess you wouldn't really know because governance is still kind of happening. I don't know. But are you noticing any interest? Like, is there interest on Binance Chain, or is there interest on Avalanche? Is there any trading happening? I guess is the question.
Yeah, the trading happen. It's enough to look at the chart because it shows the trading activity compared to the theoretical price. So there are people buying and selling continuously. Last time I checked on the BSC scanner, there was about 2,000 holders, which isn't bad, honestly.
No.
So we are gonna see what's happening in the Avalanche one. I'm curious.
Yeah. Okay, so Ben, this is a question for you. And if there's more questions, guys, if you have any questions, you put them in the chat.
And I have an hard stop in 25 minutes, so please use my time right now.
Okay, so now we're gonna.
I don't want to stay. I love it, but I really need to go.
Okay, so but you have until 10:30. Is that or my 10:30? You have another 25 minutes. Okay, great. So let's get Benedetto involved here. If you have any questions, please put them in here and we'll get to them. But my question for you, Ben, is what is Folks Finance's overall mission right now? Because you started on Algorand very successfully. You guys were very careful about how you launched, to several audits. And we haven't seen many have we seen any problems with Folks Finance? I don't think so. So people may see problems, but not like from the security side of it. So it's been very successful. You guys are a software house in Italy. There's, I think, connections to Silvio and these original teams. There's a lot of you guys being one of these original guys that are still standing and, frankly, like I said, succeeding quite well. What is the overall mission for Folks Finance? What are you guys trying to do in DeFi, and where do you see where you guys are headed?
Yeah, so the idea for Folks in the next years is to become an alternative to centralized exchange, which aims to offer similar tools, but all powered by smart contract and DeFi. So, but still trying to be at the same way, ease of use as a centralized exchange. So this is the idea. And in order to do that, of course, you need to support multiple networks. So the new cross-chain app is going to allow, as much as possible, network abstraction, gas fees. You don't need to; they are hidden. You need to pay them, but they are being handled by the backend. And as well, we wanted to have a dashboard management that allow you to manage multiple assets on multiple networks, but in a very simple way from one page. So this brings it closer to a centralized exchange. And of course, to swap, to trade, to deposit, to take loans, to leverage trading, liquid staking, all the tools that we have.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've noticed that, on your swapping tools, you guys also have a good trade. Like it's a competitive trade. Your aggregators often.
On the Xalgo page, you have Li-Fi integration, which is one of the most important cross-chain DEX aggregator. So on the Algorand page, we have Folks Router. Yes, we worked on it. It's very efficient. So we try always to do the best. Regarding
actually go back. I'm sorry. Go back to on the Xalgo page because I have not explored that much at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
the new app in general, the new cross-chain app will have cross-chain swaps, which means basically you can swap the liquidity not only in a single chain, but access all the supported network liquidity. And we integrated Li-Fi for that. So Li-Fi is one of the most famous cross-chain DEX aggregator. So the cross-chain apps in general are using messaging layer like Wormhole, Layer 0, Axelar. Each one use different to power those type of cross-chain messaging. And yes, it is already now integrated in the Xalgo page. So when you are swapping right now, for example, Xalgo, you do it directly from Binance Smart Chain towards AVAX in the pools.
Got it. So if somebody wants to right now, like is excited about AVAX and they wanted to swap some algo for AVAX, they can go to the Xalgo page and very easily leave algo, have some native AVAX, and go swap it for whatever meme coin on AVAX that they want.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So then that's just using, is it using Wormhole? Or you just said it, but I guess you said it changes, but.
Are you referring to Li-Fi integration or so? Li-Fi is a protocol, so we integrated them. Like we have a partnership with them, and Li-Fi uses different messaging layer, not just one, because they integrated a lot of chain.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And then what about Folks? What about the Folks token?
So the Folks token is being designed. Just give us a little bit more time. We need to do, we are very accurate when doing this type of things. It's like more than 1.5 years that we are thinking about that. Seems like the right time has arrived. So in the next week, we have a few meetings with the team in order to start to design the final things. And then I don't know when we will make the idea public, but for now, just know that we are working on it.
You're working on it. And I think I've asked you this before, but it will, people that have participated on Folks for many years, I imagine will be.
I think they should. I'm not saying they will, but I think they should.
You think they should? Okay. Well,
yes.
I think you have some pull. And then something that I'm frankly disappointed about, because I really enjoyed, and I've joked about it because somebody asked you about it yesterday on Twitter, is that is there plans to allow for LP to be used as collateral again on Folks?
The previous, the V1 of the protocol was different in terms of how the pool works. In fact, if you remember, you have one collateral and one borrowable asset. So that made us easier to be listing a certain asset as a collateral. Mm-hmm. So it is a little bit more tricky now. Yes, it could be, but it can be down the line.
Okay. So you're thinking, I mean, would it be possible? And now I don't know anything really about these things, but like, is it possible to have like the ability to only use one asset and have LP tokens be the only asset you could use in that,
section? So potentially Folks has a special design that allow us to customize type of loans. So as you can see, the algo efficiency of the stablecoin efficiency. Yes, we could have, let's say, an LP efficiency. It would allow to have a certain LP as a collateral to borrow limited asset. Yes, but we haven't seen much requests. Also, like if we see demand, yes, we can start to think about it. Why not?
Okay, cool. And then what about the market in general? Are you guys excited? Like this is for you too, Ibu. Like, I mean, are you? It seems like it's such a.
He's always bullish.
Ibu's always bullish?
Yes. In the darkest time, he was still bullish. Algo is going to pump.
Algo is going to pump. I just could hear it. I could hear Algo's going to pump. And then everyone's like, oh, fuck you, dude.
I was thinking last night, like I was in the bathroom and, woke up for the middle of the night leak. Okay. And I was like, you know what? Like, I worked for a DeFi protocol through the longest bear market in crypto history. Mm-hmm. So I really don't see how it could have gotten any worse in the market. We got through probably all that really, really tough time. So at this point, it's just all daisies for me. Like it's just how I feel about it. It's like, couldn't have gotten worse from, suffering and rotting down in the 12 to 8 cent range of algo for like 6 months or maybe even more. Yeah. So at that point, it's like, once that's over, we're good. We're back at 2025. Like it's only up from here, in my opinion. Whether it does it tomorrow or next year, it really couldn't have. We already got through the shittiest time for me. So feeling good.
I got to say, and then you said it, you worked for a DeFi protocol through the longest bear market. And it's pretty cool to see you guys. And, I'm not going to sit here and just, give you guys head massages all day, but it's just like to see you guys kind of emerge stronger. And I think, I've been around this space for a bit. And again, I think it's a testament to Benedetto and his, I know a little bit about you. And, it's not like you guys weren't out there spending stupid money, You're yeah, pretty. You're like, no, I don't do that.
Look at Ibu.
Look at Evo. Yeah, he looks borderline homeless. He doesn't have anything on his walls except for the
Every money spent on Ibu is never stupid money.
Ah, sweet. Look at you.
No, we had to grind real hard for like through all of 2023, and during that whole time, there was not much. There were a lot of questions and almost no answers. So we got through that. We got through a really difficult period, and now there's a lot of positive catalysts that I can see coming in 2024. So yeah. I think now that we've gotten through that, it's just about, hitting the target, or at least just throwing as many darts at the wall as possible now, because if the sentiment in the market is positive, then it's more likely that those darts will hit a bullseye. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Okay, I have a question for both of you guys. I have a question because I listen to these podcasts, and it really, if you watch CNBC, there's 3 tokens that anybody will talk about anymore, and it is Bitcoin, of course, it's Ethereum, and it's Solana. I mean, it's like if you look at the CNBC ticker, it's Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, it's Solana. If you listen to Unchained, if you listen to anybody out there in this world, all the Marios and the Rands and all them, they're all talking about Solana. What is your feeling about how Algorand, or it's not even necessarily just Algorand, just how do you see that as them sort of being this leader as an alternative to Bitcoin and Ethereum? And if you have any thoughts about how Algorand can sort of figure that out, or any of that, do you have any thoughts around Solana and its kind of dominance at the moment?
So my personal opinion is that we are in an industry that is extremely fast evolving, right? Would you ever imagine Solana would resuscitate this way? Like, no one was talking about Solana anymore a while ago. It was even dead from everybody. And then in some way or another, it did. And now everybody's talking about it. So I learned through the past that you never give you never get for given anything. Like you always need to keep your ideas open, and things can change very quickly. That is because it is a very new technology that we are using, and even a new layer can come tomorrow with good bakers and good technology, enough one very good partnership, and everything start to move there, right? So that is my view. I always have been thinking around that, even when comparing Ethereum killers to Ethereum, right? Like Ethereum, okay, it's the oldest. It has the network effect, right? Like that everyone is there and everything has been built there. But nevertheless, if a new technology is going to be so good that, let's say, big names are going to use it for building, let's say, Web 2.5 apps and bringing millions of users, and at that time, like, things can change quickly. Also, in my opinion, crypto users are used to change. It's not that we are, I don't know, dinosaurs of fintech. Like, we are quickly evolving towards technology because we are here, because we believe in the technology. So if a new technology is coming or something is coming back, we are happy to be flexible, no? So in my opinion, nothing is given at this point.
Yeah, that sounds really, from what I took from what you just said is that Solana, it was dead last year. It had its huge moment with FTX. It got down to, I think, as low as $8. I think it's, we just saw it's over 100 now. And just how quickly these things change. It's something that you do need to learn in this space. Like, maybe Algorand feels dead in the water. Frankly, it doesn't feel
also
dead.
One thing that I always consider when I see those type of extreme growth is that this type of hype is never good for the builders. So I imagine myself being a DeFi builder on Solana, and everything is going so fast and price is going so quickly, and you need to go fast to release the new feature. You want to launch the token. Those things brings to mistakes. So we got to be careful with that, because especially the builders, when they have the pressure of needing to launch something because it's the hype time, this is the worst. Like to build smart contracts for DeFi, for example, that are reliable, you need time, you need testing that cannot be pressured.
Yeah, I want to chime in. Like, I agree with what Ben said. It's easy in crypto to get, like, there's so many things going on at the same time and so many new things all the time that if you're building something, I think it's important you got to learn about as much as possible, but don't let yourself get battered around by the winds like that easily. You know, if you just try to put everything on every new trend, you will eventually leave too many like open threads that will, like Ben said, just lead to mistakes and mess ups. And it's the reason that people like go crazy when the prices are going up so much, like on Sol, is because there's a huge opportunity to make a ton of money. But it's just as easy to lose all the money at the same time, or maybe like a couple weeks later, a couple months later, the next year, if you make those mistakes in the contract and stuff like that, like Ben said. So I don't like, yeah, I think I'm not a big fan of like, I never personally been a big fan of like jumping on trends when everyone else is doing it. So I always approach viral trends with a lot of skepticism, and usually there's some substance to a viral trend. There's a reason why it's going viral, but there's also a lot of like hype mentality and FOMO that just gets like baked in. So I personally think it's just my prediction is that a lot of coins and a lot of L1s and L2s and networks will have a Solana-ish moment or run. I think Solana was just the first one to do it, and possibly that relates to their FTX connections and various other like entanglements that chain had, where my theory is that a lot of big investors were really, really down on their investment and needed to come up with some escape plan in the last couple weeks of 2023, possibly to avoid some type of 2024 taxes or something like that, something weird, right? So I think I don't think that the Solana pump was just everyone loves Solana now, so everyone's buying it. Like, I think there was more under the hood things going on that drove the hype. That's fine. Like, I think a lot of coins will have the same effect in 2024.
Yeah. Okay, a couple more things before we lose Ben. Well, first I'll ask this question, and then we'll get to a more general question. But like, so we had juicing. Did you guys obviously are aware of the Aura token and the juicing, and so what we learned from that? Can you give me kind of break down maybe, Ben, what you saw and what you kind of learned about what Algorand needs to work on in that sense of being able to support that type of crazy transaction volume? Or do you think that it was so inorganic because it was just all so rapid, it would never actually in the real world be done like that? So it was a little bit of a silly, or I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
I think by looking at Algorand average transaction, the technology is already ahead of what we need, let's say. Yeah. And then, okay, this was kind of a stress test, very nicely done. Why not? And also gave us some visibility as a chain on the different aggregators, like where you go and visualize data. You could see Algorand very fast transacting in those days. Why not? Still nice to have. Then, I mean, again, for me, it's Folks works very well. Like the transaction is always going well. So I don't think Algorand should scale right now because we don't have that need. But if there will be a need, I'm sure that the team will be looking to that. They always scale before the needs arrive. So
right, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you don't. I think I see what you're saying. You're saying, okay, so we see that if those types of transactions were sustained, then these the people that run, or the entities that are running these nodes and all that would scale. But since that isn't going to be, like, those projects don't actually exist yet, the need to do that isn't exactly here yet. So there's no reason to overcorrect in this
Correct.
moment. Yeah, gotcha.
I think Orange's it was a great stress test, good technical test, but probably overhyped now that we actually see what came of it. I mean, it's not the coin that's going to make everyone rich that I feel like a lot of people were expecting. Like, oh, everyone's going to mine this. It's going to be like Bitcoin on Algorand. It's going to go to the moon. It's just not working like that. I don't think many people thought through the actual system of it. It's fine. Like, it was a tech test, not a pumper, So I think but people expected it to be a pumper. So it maybe caught a lot of like, wow, this is going to be the craziest thing ever. It was dope, but it kind of died off already in a way. So it's like, maybe it was a good first step. Maybe there needs to be an iteration on it that creates value in a more widespread way.
Well, it seems, I will say, for everybody's bag holding oranges, it has a good team leading it, right? This is the Vestige team. And so if they can find utility in a way to create some sort of incentive, for it, then who knows what could happen in the future. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
On a more like general thing, let's just talk about Algorand for a second before Ben has to go. Something that I've sort of noticed, I've been around, you guys know that I've been around here for a while talking about this. There's been ups, there's been downs, there's all of these things. And something that I've sort of noticed from the foundation, I think in general, not even the foundation, but just maybe let's just call Algorand direction in general. There has been a hyper focus on like larger institutional, these like, I don't know, CBDCs were all the rage when I first started talking about Algorand. It was like, it's Silvio and his connections to MIT, and will the US put a token on Algorand? And then it became, then you see like these bankers, like, you got the Stacy and you got Eric, you got all these guys that are at the foundation, and it's like, okay, well, banks, and then we have Bank of Italy, which is exciting. I'm sure Benedetto, you can maybe talk about that if you'd like. But you see all of that, and then it's possible that the community that's been around for a while kind of looks at that and hasn't really seen a whole lot pay off from those efforts towards those larger institutional governmental adoption use cases. And it makes you wonder, are they pivoting, or I don't know, like where it feels to me that Algorand may be why Solana and others are excelling and Algorand isn't. It feels to me there's like an identity crisis happening right now where it's like, where we don't know if we're going to be this government chain or we're going to be the orange juice chain. You know what I mean? Like what are your thoughts on the direction of Algorand and the success basically of, the current, maybe you can point to some things that you are actually excited about, or maybe you can be critical and tell me what you actually think and what needs to be done,
Yeah. So my point of view is that Algorand suffered a bit of also restructuring in that time. Since Stacy came, a lot of things have been changed, and I am actually happy right now how things moves. I think it's much better. Like there has been done a lot of cleaning, and the narrative of the banks and CBDCs and everything, those things don't pay quickly, right? Like you need to, we still see that those institution needs more regulation, needs more time. No one has really done something that matters in that context. Mm-hmm. So we will see probably in a few years if those things will pay off. But I do agree with you. I hear those things since I am in Algorand, so it's 3 years ago. And we will see. Regarding the Bank of Italy, I know something what is going on. I'm not sure how much I can share, but it is cool. This is cool and potentially can make impact, and it shouldn't be far away. And in my point, like, okay, we can discuss this. It was a good idea or not a good idea to take those direction, because, as you said, like in other chain where they invest more on degens, where they invest more on meme coin, like you see the growth much faster.
Yeah.
Because the point is that the crypto community, it is this right now, right? Like, also I do believe that the Algorand community is very different than the others, because we believe a lot in the tech and in those type of missions. But nevertheless, like, we all care in the end about the token price. And probably in the last years we haven't done the proper investment in order to pump the token as the ultimate thing, but more investing on the technology and the wide adoption. But now I see that under the leadership of the foundation, there is more of both. So you have, I can see on my Twitter, there is more engagement with big KOLs, big pages, and there is efforts being done on that side that we wouldn't see before, honestly. I don't think that in the history before I've seen any big account tweeting about algo before, like I'm saying, Digen's account. Now it is happening. And at the same time, still pursuing the way of the long-term shot. Let's say I was also in the Impact Summit organized by the foundation in India, and I could touch those type of initiatives that the foundation is taking towards impactful adoptions of blockchain and, of course, of Algorand. And if those goes in, those are a big highway, I would say, for adoption. Then, are they going to pay on the token in the nearest future? I don't know this. I don't have the answer. But pursuing both sides, I think it's a good idea, because you take a look at the long term, but at the same time you are working with the hands-on on what is needed to pump the price right now.
It's interesting, that you mentioned that, because I get this, you would hear, oh, we don't think about price, but I think after a while they're like, holy shit, the price is, you need to think about price, because then the builders die and then everybody leaves because nobody can sustain, because so many, and we see it with Algo Explorer. They said it explicitly that, the Rand Labs team was like, look, we got paid in Algo, and then it took a huge dive, and now we can't play anymore. That's a more complicated question. We don't need to talk about that. But yeah, Ibo, did you have anything that you wanted to add to what Ben said?
Yeah, I think I liked what you said about the transition period, identity crisis, and then Ben said transition period. Definitely true. I think it took a long time to clear out a lot of the messes that were created from the previous administration. And I know Ben's got to go, so I'm going to keep this comment short. But I think if you want to, yeah, Ben, well, I'll answer, but let's let him go.
Yeah, Ben, thank you so much for joining. No, I appreciate it. You were great. And
thank you. It's always a pleasure for me to be called AlgoFi.
Yeah, thank you so much, Owen. You've been a pleasure. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, but seriously, I really appreciate you hopping on, and you're welcome anytime. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Anytime you want me, I'm here. And Coupe team, let's pump the G-Algo pool.
All right, let's do it. Coupe, G-Algo. Let's go. All right, ciao.
I'm happy to stick around for a couple more minutes if you want me. So I think, like, companies follow the culture of their founder and the founding team. And I'm still hoping to see more of Silvio in 2024.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Have you heard of anything? Is there a reason why he's not, like, he's in hiding? Is he, what's going on?
No clue.
No clue.
I have no information. Just hope to see something. I had this idea. I was talking to a couple friends. I'll keep them unnamed. It's not like call them out. Okay. But they're in Algorand, and I was like, why don't they just hire like a camera guy to follow around Silvio every once in a while. Like, just show him working, just to make a vlog, or go to lunch with him and just like set up a camera and let him ramble and post it. Like this is just good content that you can use Silvio's strengths for. We're not asking him to be a TikToker. We're not asking him to post threads. He just, that's not his style. He's just a chill guy, very intelligent, likes to focus on his work. All they got to do is just get like some supporting crew around him to show what he does every day and post it. No one's asking him to go out of his way. And I think like even stuff like that, like a monthly Silvio vlog would be like really cool. And I think a lot more people, not even just in the immediate community, but outside of it, would start to watch that and become curious. Like a lot of people in the community today found the Algorand through the Lex Fridman podcast. Like the Lex Fridman podcast is still the biggest driver of growth for the community, I think, to this day. And that was like 3 years ago or more. So I really just create some Silvio vlogs. Like, I think it's a good place to start, you know?
I mean, that's crazy that, that was, I think, 3 years ago. And it was the largest onboarding event of Algorand. And like you're saying, that it potentially still is. And it certainly is for a lot of the people that have remained over that time. They're still here because of being inspired in that moment and thinking that there was a solution there that he was presenting. And right. I mean, like you're saying, like, or even just like a documentary where Algorand was dominant in it, like where we learn about this guy's massive contribution to computer science and how he's now in this. I mean, it's a good story, like this MIT, this Italian that goes to Berkeley, that teaches at MIT, and then like goes into this crazy degen world of cryptocurrency early on. And then like what the pitfalls of that, I'm sure that, the problem probably is that the story is more complicated than we actually know, which would make it compelling for a documentary. But yeah, the
guy is, from what I can gather, is like a treasure trove of interesting perspectives and insight and knowledge. I think it's to not tap into it and use it as a potential like lever for growth would be a huge missed opportunity. So I just think like it's pretty obvious. It's not even hard. I mean, shoot, like if they just give me raw footage, like I'll chop it together, like whatever, like I'll like just, I think, so that's what I would love to see this year is, and if it's not him, okay, then do it with John Woods, show us what they work on, how they work every day. I think that's something that will appeal to the algo community, because the algo community is interested in that type of more structured vibe, I guess. It's hard to put a finger on it, but you know what I mean? A little bit more professional, a little bit more like not institutional, academic, I guess is a good word for it.
But yes, I think that you're right. I think that there is a more, and I've said this a lot, as I think that people get into Algorand because they want to be forward looking, but they also want it to make sense, and they want it to feel, it's almost like a conservative, like look towards the future, and wants, it's like crypto conservatives or something like that. So I think anyways, but what I was going to say is that I think it shows up in all of these ecosystems though, is that you need an aspirational leader, right? Solana's got Anatoly and he does a good job at it. I'm not going to lie. Like that guy is, he's good. He's good at it. He's active and he is like, he presents a vision in a cool way that feels like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing, and this is a good playground to be in because the principle's cool, whatever. And then like obviously Vitalik is a leader in this space from the beginning, and so if you're in Ethereum and you read his yearly, or not even yearly, but his papers that he writes and the roadmaps that he puts out, like it's active and it is aspirational, and it's like, even his paper was inspiring to me about like getting back to the ethos, like of what we're doing here. Don't lose the whole reason for, this space in general. And then obviously you have Satoshi was in his paper. He gets to live. He has a mystique We don't know who he is. Is he dead? I mean, that's aspirational in the sense that his wallet controls all of this, and like he doesn't touch it. He could be a multi-billionaire and da 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 da. And so, we can keep on going. You know, we can go to other. I don't know, but I think they are the three with the largest. And Silvio is somebody that can provide that, and he just
Coupe.
does.
Coupe. Let me look at the coin market cap, and you can go down the list, and every big chain has a leader. Okay,
Exactly.
BNB, CZ.
Here, let's hold on. We can do this together. We can do this
Okay,
for the. We can do this for the everybody because I have it right here.
Let's do it.
All right.
Because there's a lot, man. Like it's a common theme amongst the biggest. Okay, show me the top 10.
All right, let's go down.
If you don't mind.
Oh yeah, we can totally do this. You're absolutely right.
Satoshi, Vitalik, CZ, Anatoly, keep going.
Yeah.
Brad Garlinghouse, Jeremy Allaire, Hoskinson, Emin Gunschurer, Doge, I guess Elon, Justin Sun, Polygon.
You skipped over. By the way, you skipped over Gavin Wood. Yep.
Gavin Wood, exactly. Chainlink has what's his name? What's his name?
Sergey
Nazarov. So you go down to almost the 15th spot, and only one or two don't have a charismatic leader that the whole community rallies behind, right? It's a common theme. Like
you're so right.
I think Algorand's missing.
And then the charismatic leaders get, as you get out of the top 15, Toncoin, what's that? That's Reddit, right? So once you get out of the top 15, yeah, it gets less interesting. Like
then you're like, who's the leader here?
Yeah, that Charles, what's his face? Or is it Charles? What the hell's the guy, the Litecoin guy? My God, how did I forget?
Charlie something.
Yeah. And then, okay, Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, who's the leader of Cosmos? We don't know. Near's that guy, Ilya or whatever. Stellar.
But at this point, these guys aren't at the same level as the top 15 that we mentioned. Like those guys are all A-list celebrities, influencers, leaders in the space. I think there's definitely a reason why the top 15 coins, besides Tether and maybe one or two others, like have a big leader. I would love to see someone be that person. I'm not even going to say that guy for Algorand. I think that's one thing that it needs. Someone who's John Woods is unapologetically Algorand, but maybe he needs a supporting cast member or someone to be the A to his B, something like that.
Yeah. Well, and also, CTO isn't as exciting. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's in a great role, but he could also maybe. Anyways, I got in trouble for insinuating things about what he should be doing, so I don't need to keep on beating.
We love John, but why stop there? Why stop
exactly?
There?
Well, I'll tell you what. When Silvio was active. By the way, when he was more active and people, and he was mixing it up a little bit and all of these things, Algorand was up here,
Right.
Algorand wasn't Algorand in the top 20 for a while?
Yeah, a while.
Yeah. So, and that was when Silvio was more active. I mean, I think that's a great point, man. Like, I'll just look at this one more time. Like, if you look at these top people, there is exactly what you're saying. There's a person that people in those communities can look to, be inspired by, and have faith in. Now, that's not exactly the ethos of decentralization, but I mean, it's also, you can have a leader and still be decentralized, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And they move markets. The leaders move markets, like with a tweet, with a interview, stuff like that. It's important. So I'm curious to see who's going to be that person, if anyone is, like, for the Algorand community. And on the other hand, beyond all that, it's just being a one chain person in 2024 is going out of style. Like people you can like many things. Just because you like two chains doesn't mean that you dislike one of them.
Two chains.
So yeah, exactly. So people fighting with Solana community.
I know. I joke about Solana, by the way, just because I'm short on 5 Solana right now, and it's a It's like a $500 loss. That's not, it's not going to kill me, but I did a ceremonial short, and that ceremonial short is just annoying. So I joke I'm basically joking. I look at it and I think, okay, I definitely think, like you said earlier, that there's some fuckery going on with the trading of it. That's a completely different thing than my sort of admiration for the leadership of Anatoly and the fact that, it works and they're getting people to actually participate. And, so there's you're absolutely right. In 2024, being a total maxi that is out there, crucifying anybody in the Algorand community because they tweeted about, 4chain or something. I don't know. But if they tweeted about something else,
they liked an NFT on a different network or something.
Yeah, they have a different profile picture because they like an NFT artist or a project somewhere else or whatever it is. It's sort of like, it's just not it anymore. It's just not it. Yeah.
Because last cycle, the L1s, the new fast L1s and fast L2s were all fighting for a similar prize. Now I think the industry is moving beyond that. And the place that I'm looking as the next evolution of like where the competition is actually in the cross-chain solutions where you got Chainlink, Wormhole, Layer Zero, Axelar. Those projects are going to be the big brawlers over the next year or two as they try to dominate that market. But I think all the chains, they all offer a lot of similar things: fast speed, low fees. They each have their own strengths and weaknesses, and they're all going to get a little bit of the pie. But the cross-chain infrastructure is so undeveloped and so new that I think it's going to be one of the biggest areas of development over the next year or two. Like, think about this with Chainlink. Chainlink CCIP is the first time that you can actually have a coin be the same coin on two networks. So no more wrapped, right? No more wrap this, wrap that. That's a big difference that people seems small, but big, very big.
There's because the wrapped stuff is a joke. You can't have a wrapped token on most of these chains because there's no liquidity. There's no like, you can't trade in and out of it easily, all of that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Except for Bitcoin, Ethereum, where there's massive interest on everybody's, there's a huge amount of interest in Bitcoin still in the native Algorand people. So you can have a deeper liquidity for something like that. But it's when you start going down the list. And I think just to your point, before we maybe look at if there's any more questions and then sign off, is it's about also communities. And it almost doesn't matter where you're building your community. And I think that's pretty cool what you guys are doing, encouraging these community coins to grow. I mean, I think what you're doing is obviously beneficial to folks' finance, but it's also beneficial to the overall scene, where if people see that these communities are growing and the token prices are going up and the liquidity and the TVL is getting higher, it just brings excitement to these different communities. And and then like it can happen on Algorand, it can happen on AVAX, and people start to see. And then if we could start hopping around all these chains, then it gets less important. And then these massive, and then you hope that the use case of Algo, for example, gets to grow for some reason because of the Bank of Italy or whatever it is. And then the Algo token gets some shine. And then Silvio solves some other problem. And then, whatever it is, and it has to happen naturally, and it's not just the crypto pump world. It's actually
one thing you just reminded me of is that we have xAlgo on BNB chain and Avalanche now. And if and when the algo price itself if it goes on a big run, then those already being prepared could be a big catalyst for people on those chains to be like, well, damn, I'm an Avalanche guy. Now I could get some algo exposure by buying a little of this xAlgo coin off the DEX. Yeah. And, it's just a step toward bringing them together and assimilating it. So
like I said, the reverse earlier when Ben was here is that, you get excited about a meme coin on, like, if you're on AVAX, right? And there's xAlgo and you see Coupe And it's like, what the fuck? This thing just went from 500,000 to 3 million, market cap. Like, it gives them an easy journey over to go, get exposure to. I shouldn't use Coupe because I shouldn't be, I should use a different one maybe, or maybe I should. Boop. All right, let's see if there's any questions here for you before we sign off, because I do have a Twitter space that I'm going to be doing with MESSINA in a second. So Mr. Joker says, G-Algo will be added to the winning pools, or will there be farms set up for the winning LP?
It's just anyone can create the pool, and the rewards will be given to the dexes, and the dexes handle it in the way that they handle it. So simple, no extra complication, just simple. So the winning pools with the highest TVL will be rewarded the G-Algo so if, let's say, Coupe wins. It's Algo. Yeah, not G-Algo, it's Algo price. Oh, cool. So, yeah. So let's say Coupe has the highest TVL on Tiny Man. Then the large prize will go to Tiny Man, and then they'll set up a farm for those Algo to reward that LP. Yeah. So it's a G-Algo Coupe pool in theory, or any other coin, but the rewards come in Algo. That's just because of a technicality that the targeted DeFi rewards can't be committed to liquid governance, because then the rewards that are generated also count as targeted DeFi rewards, and it becomes more complicated to distribute those in the following quarter. So it's weird. Like, you got to give all the TDR out in the same quarter. So yeah, it's Algo rewards, and that's it. Just liquidity providers will get the extra boost. Cool. How's that going on Trader Joe's? I think we sort of covered that when Ben was here. New news section of FolksFi website available, like the Medium post, news, etc., or just don't know how to access that? I don't know. Do you know what he's asking? Yeah, probably trying to find our Medium. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. You'll see a bunch of social media links in the bottom right corner. Samino wants to know, is there any plans about X-Algo on Sol or Ethereum? Probably, but couldn't give you a concrete date on it. Okay. But I would say, we're going to keep expanding it to new chains when we can. We did BNB 6 months ago, do AVAX now. Maybe it'll accelerate. I don't really know, but yeah, Cool. I already asked when folks, so I did that for you, Gary. Won't win. When Moon, I kind of asked that as well. A folks stable coin. Do you have any plans for a folks stable coin? No. I personally don't see any value in creating stablecoin protocols anymore. Yeah. There's more official players that are going to be entering that market. So as a grassroots stablecoin, it's really, really tough to drive adoption when people can just use other bigger ones. Got it. At 409, and it looks like it was seconded by Mr. Joker. They want to know, any concerns regarding U.S. regulations? Will KYC come soon? I can't give any answer. I really don't know. You have no idea, right? But not for the US folks, like UltraSwap. Folks Router is implemented in a wallet, and on one-click person, you can always check the quote from Folks Router and DFlex Protocol. All right, so that's from Ludo. So he's given a little bit of info. Any solution to decrease fees to swap? Is it a problem of low liquidity? What was the question? Let me try to find it. Emmanuel Fortuna, it says, any solution to decrease fees to swap? So I think he's experiencing slippage and more liquidity. He answered his question, to be honest. We try to use routers. That's all I can say. Yeah, the aggregators and the routers. Yep. When USDCA on off ramp on folks. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. You can use MESSINA. Use MESSINA and layer and Base. If you're a US guy and you have Coinbase, use MESSINA Bridge, send it to Base, and then send it from Base to Coinbase. You literally pay less than $1 to do that. So it's very easy to use MESSINA Bridge for the on-off ramp of USDCA. Okay.
Yep. And we lost our mALGO wallet. We did lose our mALGO wallet. It was terrible. Yes, it was for them. People that survived that bear market on algo deserve to retire early. Hopefully we don't see a third annual algo hack. So Mr. Joker is, I think, insinuating that we had Tiny Man 2 years ago, I guess it was. And then we had mALGO last year. So hopefully nothing bad happens this year. Let's hope. Somebody get on their knees and pray for Para, I guess. 409, were you all ever scared you wouldn't get through? Was there ever any fear that folks wouldn't make it?
I can't speak for anyone else on the team. Sometimes, I'm an optimistic person, but sometimes it's just hard to, like, you got to really battle negative thoughts from entering your mind. And yeah, I would never say like I felt folks was ever on the brink of collapse, but there were some times where I'm like, this is tough. And if this bear market lasts another year and a half, it will be very, very tough. But thankfully, it doesn't seem to be doing that. And that's just because a lot of the revenue that we make is collected in crypto assets. So if the crypto assets go up in price, we're making more revenue. But if they're super low and bottomed out in price, especially when algo was at its absolute bottom for a while, the revenue was like, even from 12 to 8 cents, that's a 50% drop. So that makes a pretty big difference when it comes to operational expenses. So you can imagine going from 8 cents to 20 cents, it feels great. Like, feels like, wow, we got a little breathing room now. A lot more breathing room than back then. In those times when it was really shitty, I was okay. This is concerning, but I always felt like once you start to feel like that, this is the worst possible thing. Because I'm an optimistic person. When I start to feel that, it's usually when it's like almost capitulation time. So I have to remind myself, like, I'm usually the person that's selling the bottom and like buying tops if I go with that gut feeling. So I have to like counteract the gut feeling, and it ends up being,
Believe me, we all have had to learn that lesson of like, okay, if I'm feeling super excited right now, it's probably the top.
Right.
All right, I'm going to have to go. So I'm going to try to see. Cheers, Ben. Okay. So they left, or probably monthly brunches. Okay. So yeah, we had an active chat. I'm sorry guys that I didn't keep up with you better. I do wish to see more of Silvio there. You got a lot of people agreeing with you. It's Bitcoin and Algorand. It's always cool to be a leader when things are going well, but when they go bad, the FUD is nuts. I don't think Silvio wants to be involved in all that. Yeah, hopefully they're onto something there, and there isn't a bigger reason why Silvio's not showing up. It's more like he'll just come up when the sentiment's better. Anyways,
right.
They want our documentary. You need to do more interviews, Coupe. You're in your element and a natural flow. Thanks, Mort. I do enjoy them. I haven't been doing these, and I do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Love the honesty, Ibu. All right, so you got a good shot out there at the end. All right, man. Well, this was fun. You should come on the show more often. I feel like we have it's a good thing.
It's good. It's easy when it's a real life friend. So I don't feel like I just feel like we're chatting like we were chatting in LA or whatever, like that.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Well, cheers to that. Let's end on that note, and hopefully we'll get together in real life again, and we can have some fun.
For sure, bro.
All right, bro.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for Ben too. I'll say for him.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, folks finance. And make sure everybody, in 3 minutes, I'll be on Twitter or X, whatever, with Kevin from Algo Foundry. I think we're going to have Barb and maybe Greg from Aura is going to join us. We'll talk meme coins. The perfect follow-up to this chat. So, all right. I'll see you soon.
Make sure to show the G Algo commitment pooling in the MESSINA space.
I'm sure they'll love that. All right. I'll talk to you soon, man.